Greetings all, it's Blue Knight, and welcome back to Persona 3 FES. Previously, we did a lot of social link business. We found out about Kenji's secret plan to ask out a teacher, befriended a online character in an MMO game named Maya, found out about Kaz's injury, which is a lot more serious than any of us may realize, and befriended Yuko of the Kendo team, now establishing a social link with her. Today we're gonna head to Polonia Mall, not just for karaokeing, but to visit Elizabeth in the Velvet Room, as she has something very interesting to talk to us about. So we're gonna head over there after I watch TV some more. I honestly never checked the TV on most of my playthroughs. I just been kind of doing that just to, I guess, help me out with talking about other stuff in the background. So I guess that's why I've been doing a lot more than I usually do. Like with Yukari, for instance. She's telling us that her physical skills don't seem to improve that much when leveling up, but her magic skills are a completely different ballgame. In order to know an enemy's weakness, we need to know what it is, dude. Remember, if enemies been analyzed before, they already have that info. So make sure you analyze our enemies so we can kick their asses. That's always my go-to strategy to do with any playthrough of this game, Junpei, trust me. The tactic that requires the most amount of strategic planning is assign target. When you use it, you will need to assign a team member to attack a particular enemy. By efficiently allocating the strength of each member, you can fully utilize their collective power of the team. If a targeted enemy has been defeated, the team member will revert to his or her normal fighting style. So once the enemy's been defeated and assigned target, then they will go back to act freely if I remember correctly. All attack. Oh yeah, we can only do an all attack when we're able to move. I don't think I mentioned this myself before, but if we either get knocked down or affected by an ailment that makes us uncontrollable, then we won't be able to do an all-out attack. So always keep in mind, even if you have at least one other party member that's active in a battle, as long as you're active yourself, you can initiate a all-out attack. So say if all the enemies are knocked down, but you're also down as well, then you won't be able to do that despite the fact that all the enemies are knocked down as well. So just think of yourself as the key to activating an all-out attack is what I'm trying to say. So let's head to the back alley and head into this Velvet Room entrance to see what Elizabeth likes to talk to us about. I am truly sorry to bother you, but I have a big favor to ask. I have been looking for someone with exceptional strength. If you don't mind, will you accept my requests? Some of my missions will require you to escort me around, but of course, once each request is completed, I will have a reward for you. I anxiously await your cooperation. Just as I thought, we now have access to Elizabeth's requests. So these requests can give you some very great rewards if you're able to go through most of them. So we can only hold up to 3 at a time, as some of these we will have to perform in Tartarus, but others we can just do out in the real world. Like for instance, we can show Elizabeth around Polonia Mall, for instance. I actually want to accept the muscle drink request as well. Finding a muscle drink in Tartarus isn't that hard at all if that's dictated by the difficulty level in the bottom right corner of the screen. You can find actually a lot of muscle drinks. They appear quite frequently in Tartarus from what I've seen in my experience. So if you have a muscle drink, save it until the requests open. So that way you can just knock that out very quickly. And if you do come across the fusion spell and perform condensa, you can knock this one out too. Doing the fusion spells not only is just a helpful thing to do in battle, but they will appear as requests as well. Our first one we completed will be the muscle drink one. I'm not sure, Elizabeth. I've never tried it myself because I've never needed the opportunity to do so. And our first reward from this request is Ooh, 3 revival beads. Very nice. That'll save me a lot of cash if I was ever planning to go visit the pharmacy, which I really wasn't, but it's always nice to get free stuff rather than trying to buy yourself. I have confirmed your casting of the fusion spell Cadenza. That beautiful duet between two musicians. I can feel my strength increasing just from listening to their song. And the second reward, which is labeled the request screen, I just been paying attention to it to be honest. 5 Oculao gems, very nice. Oculao is pretty much a better version, a stronger version of the Aki skill we currently have. We can learn that skill of our own natural will, but we're not actually strong enough to even learn that skill yet. But that will come in time. See, anything else I want to accept? So here's another hint to the future of fusion spells. Perform Jack Brothers. We need something, 2 personas with Jacks in their name. So they will always give you hints for these fusion spell requests as well. So you have a somewhat of an idea on what you can do with a fusion spell request. And I want to accept this because we'll need to get the item soon since that day is coming up. And I think everything else we'll have to do in Tartarus, including the fusion spell one, because we obviously can't do it anywhere else. Otherwise, it will cause quite a commotion in town. Yeah, everything else we'll have to do in Tartarus, so we'll have to make a date and go into Tartarus relatively soon. I think we might do that on Sundays, to be honest. I was originally thinking that we could go to Tartarus on Sundays, but that's actually been taken up by the Maya social link we unlocked recently. So I'll be using Sundays to level up the Maya link, which means either Fridays or Saturdays might end up being a day for us to go into Tartarus, despite the fact that on both those days, we could actually level up our courage in the karaoke, in the arcade. So I'll have to sacrifice a bit of courage leveling up in order to do so. Which I guess that's one thing I didn't mention till now. On Fridays, Horror House is also open, as well as Tuesdays and Saturdays, as I mentioned before. So I'll have to keep that in mind as well if you're ever trying to level up your courage as soon as possible, like I'm trying to do right now. Yeah, academics have increased. Oh no! I had a small feeling this was gonna happen for some reason. So there is a small chance, but a chance, that you can get tired after being stuck on your worst subject when you're studying. And this will put you in a tired condition the next day rolls around. This could actually worsen it to becoming your sick condition too if you get really unlucky. At least I'm tired, so that's good. That still means I can go visit Edogawa to raise my courage a little bit more though, so it's not a completely bad thing. Yeah, it is getting warmer. It's already May. Too bad the cherry blossoms are gone. They're so beautiful. But it lasts such a short time. But it is amazing how fast time flies by, Yukari. Very true. You know, it doesn't seem like the number of apathy syndrome cases have been decreasing lately. We're the only ones who can fight the shadows, so I guess we should trade more, so we're ready if anything like that comes up again. Me especially. I don't want to be a burden on everyone else. Yukari, you're the healer of the team. There's no way you could be a burden. You've helped us out in many situations before, and I'm pretty sure you will continue to do so in the future. Trust me, you're not being a burden.
FYI, Akihiko-san's at the hospital getting a checkup. He called me earlier and asked me to bring him something. Yep, he knows who to count on.
He only asked you because you don't have anything else to do after school.
Hey, I resent that.
I'm just kidding. So, what do you want you to bring?
The class roster for 2E.
What's he want that for? Well, I don't have practice today, so I'll go with you. You're coming too, right?
Sure, why not? Let's all be one big happy family and go surprise Akihiko together.
Cool.
Wait a minute.
What? Is there a problem?
Well, it was me he asked. Is Akihiko-senpai... in this room, by any chance?
What are all of you guys doing here?
We came to see you. But it doesn't look like anything's wrong with you.
I'm just here for a checkup.
Is that it, Aki?
Yeah, thanks.
I don't have time for this shit.
Friendly, isn't he?
Who was that?
A friend from school, sort of. You know how the number of apathy syndrome cases have been increasing? Well, he knows a few people who are suffering from it, so I was asking him about it. Hey, Junpei, did you bring what I asked?
Of course, senpai. You shouldn't move your arm.
Yeah, it's nothing. I've wasted enough time already. I need to get back to my training.
Yeah, Gecko-Khan's golden boy. He was born to be in the ring.
Sometimes I really don't get you.
By the way, senpai, why boxing?
You mean, why did I choose that sport? Well, it's not the sport itself I like. I just wanted to learn how to fight. I know what it's like to feel powerless. And I don't want to feel that way again. Besides, I'm curious to see how strong I can get. It's like a game, only I'm competing against myself.
Well, that's an interesting way of looking at it. You know, I'm into games too.
Yeah, video games.
They're good for hand-eye coordination.
So it seems like Akihiko is on the road to recovery. And this
Welcome
road
back.
might be ending really soon. That's good to know. A long weekend is coming up, so I suggest we go to Tartarus. It may take some time for Akihiko to heal, and I don't want anything like that to happen again. Besides, the number of victims seems to have been increasing. I have a bad feeling about that. We had best muster up as much strength as we can. Trust me, Mitsuru, like I said before, we'll go to Tartarus at some point during the weekend. Besides, we do have a few days off, so we might as well go to Tartarus at least once in that time. So let's see, today's Friday. Too bad I didn't get the chance to go visit Edogawa since that cutscene activated. So I guess at the very least I'll try to refresh myself once again, at least attempt to. And hopefully I'll be able to study. And survey says, no, that's not happening. Not so. That more often than not is the norm for me, like I stated before, if I haven't already stated it yet. But that does happen to be more often than not. Do you think that person who is in Akihiko Senpai's room is his friend? Well, if he says it's his friend, then I don't think we should doubt him. That guy goes to our school, but I've never seen him there before. Yep, me neither, but I haven't been to that school for that long. But I'll take your word for it, Yukari. Let's meet Junpei first. I feel let us do whatever you want, so don't worry. He'll support attack, whatever you need. We got your back. Which enemy will we attack first? The one that's about to die, of course. If you don't know what to do, just choose act freely. Personally, I always actually gonna say first before I go on my little explanation about tactics, or at least my opinion on them. Personally, I only use the tactics for boss battles. I never really chase them up unless I'm facing a regular enemy that's kind of giving me a bit of trouble, but that doesn't really happen that often. So I always leave my teammates on act freely unless it's a boss battle, then I will change things up in the tactics menu. Speaking of which, there's something I actually want to show off in the pause menu. So if you head to system, we'll get a few options we can select through. There's configuration, which just goes through some basic option stuff, you know, vibration. There's voices you can play during events. You can also press auto advance to make the dialogue advance in voice cutscenes, so you don't have to hit X all the time in order to make the next line show up. There's also cursor, which will make the cursor position of your last battle be remembered. So if I end up going on, say, tactics for whatever reason, then the next battle I go into in Tartarus, the game will remember that I picked tactics last, so it will start me with that option. And it also kind of applies to the tactics option itself. So say if I put Junpei on heal support for whatever reason, then the game will remember going into the next battle that Junpei's tactic option is heal support. So that's a good example in case you want to have cursor and tactics memory. I honestly don't have tactics memory on because, like I said before, I most of the time keep my allies on act freely, so I don't really feel the need to have that on, but I can see it be very useful. There's also cursor memory that I guess you can have on as well, so I guess I'll keep that on for the time being. There's also dictionary. We have seen some of the words highlighted in the voice cutscenes in that bluish greenish color. So like contract, it says, I choose this fate of my own free will. This pretty much shows the meaning of some terms that are highlighted throughout the game. And there will be more terms that will come up as the game goes on. So it's kind of worth remembering to check this every now and again when you do see a word that is highlighted in a voice cutscene. Like the shadows, monsters that appear during the dark hour and prey on those who are conscious. Its victims become the lost. Like I stated recently, the shadows are pretty much the cause of apathy syndrome, which surprisingly, apathy syndrome is not labeled as a term in the dictionary, which kind of surprised me. The Karijo Group, international corporation which boasts innovation in many industries. Gekukon High School sponsor. There's also fusion spells. We don't have any of them, or the most of them unlocked right now, just the one that's Condensa. But it will show which personas that you need to activate that skill and what the effect of that skill does. There's also calendar. I think I mentioned this briefly as well, but didn't go into too many specifics about it. But this does show which days are coming up, like with holidays or any other specific events that are coming up as well. So it's best to check this out if you want to prioritize which social link you want to hang out with on that day. And there's also quest. Like I stated before, you can only hold on to 3 quests at a time, and this will show the difficulty of what quest you have, the deadline, there is one, the reward of that request, and the description of said request as well. You can also actually cancel a request in the Velvet Room, but if you want to cancel a request in that room, you'll have to pay a small fee in order to do so. So it's always worth noting to think carefully on which request you want to select before actually going ahead with the selection, because you never know where you might just end up regretting picking a request later on, or just learning that you might not be able to complete that request. Oh, by the way, level to level 3 in courage status. Alright, we're determined. But as I was saying, it's always worth being careful on which request you select, because you never know when you might end up picking the wrong one that you might not be able to actually complete. Then you have to pay that small fee, and that's just completely down the hole a little bit more if you're trying to level up your social status like I'm doing. No longer tired because we rested. Good. That's always a good thing to see. Golden Week starts tomorrow. Have you got any plans? Not really. But I'm not gonna miss tomorrow's show. Oh yeah, you mean Tanaka's show, right? When I hear that jingle, I can't resist buying something. I never miss it when it's on Sunday afternoons. I'm about to go broke. So that's something we'll have to keep in mind when Sunday rolls around. But I did say before that I want to use Saturdays as a day for us to go into Tartarus. So it might be a little while before we actually do get the chance to go into Tartarus itself. Let's see, it's Saturday today. Actually, I want to go back to Paulownia Mall so we could go get that Paulownia Mall request out of the way. Oh, this guy's just talking about the various places we could go to in town as well. So there's the movie theater, there's Chagall Cafe where we can level up our charm. And there's also what was the next place he talked about? I think it was Wild Duck Burger, which is in the strip mall. I think that's a place we could strangely level up our academics, I think, of all things. I don't really remember for sure. Like I said before, I don't really go to the shops in the strip mall too much because I don't think they give you as many points as some of the other things that I've been using to level up my social status. So we're gonna go and see Elizabeth if she's available to be escorted around Paulownia Mall. And I guess the game calls it a date, so let's call it a date. Because why not? Elizabeth is comfortable with it, then I guess we should be too. Quick note about these Elizabeth date requests though. For some reason, you can only do these during the day. I guess it's because since all these places are available during daytime, this is the only time in the day that you're able to do these date requests. You can't do these at nighttime whatsoever for some reason. I find it's a weird limitation that the game forces upon you, but I guess now that I think about it, I can kind of understand why they did that. It just seems very weird to me. Ah, I've been expecting you. Shall we be on our way? Let's.
Ah, yes. An intimate encounter with one of your world's rarities. This must be a fountain. It makes sport of water, well known to all to be the foundation of life. How wicked! It's rumored that its enchanting nature grants wishes to those who sacrifice a few coins. Then I must try it for myself. Fortunately, I anticipated this and brought a good supply of coins. 2,000 of your 500 yen coins, to be exact. I shall make an opening bid to the fountain spirit of 1 million yen. I was so caught up in the excitement of tossing in coins that I hadn't given my wish any thought. This won't do. I shall give it more careful consideration before I return here in the near future. What is this facility here? There are some stern-faced gentlemen inside. And these photographs displayed so prominently. Most wanted. Reward. Am I correct in thinking of these as your version of my subjugation requests? I see. So they must be captured alive. You've sated my curiosity. This edifice over here, it can't be. Is this a club? Dancers, dictated by the sway of one's inner passions. A subterranean garden of uninhibited spectacle. Oh, no. It's not closed for business now, is it? Such a pity. I had hoped to join in on the wild ritual.
Go, Elizabeth. Work those moves. Get down with your bad self.
Ooh, that was quite satisfying. But I'm overwhelmed. Everything looks so new and inviting. Everywhere I look, something catches the eye. If you wouldn't mind, perhaps you could recommend our next activity. Karaoke, is that? The place where one can challenge even professional singers at the touch of a button. It seems the time has come to show you my hidden talents. Ah, excuse me. Would you mind waiting for a moment?
Uh-oh.
I wasn't aware that there was a fountain on this side as well. Yet another fountain on the opposite side. I see. So this place is host to a trinity of fountain spirits. I apologize for the wait. Let us continue.
I can only imagine how eventful that must be, singing karaoke with Elizabeth.
Thank you for the invaluable experiences you've shared with me today. I consider this mission fully accomplished. This may sound forward, but I'd like to accompany you again sometime.
You headed back to the Velvet Room with Elizabeth. Well, she is quite the character, isn't she? You know what? I wouldn't mind actually going on another date with her in the future, just to see how else she interacts with the environment around her. Because that was a very interesting date if I ever saw one. Thank you for showing me around Polonium Mall. That fountain. I still haven't made a decision on what to wish for. My master regrettably vetoed my wish to turn the Velvet Room into a club. Well, I mean, it's got a classy interior to it, so I guess I can see why. But I can also see how this place could be, I guess, a good place for a club. I mean, it's got the color for it. At least that's what I think. And I was so set on it that thinking anything else is proving to be difficult. Oh, I finally come up with something. I'll wish to think of a wish. There, that wasn't so hard. Now as for a reward, I've prepared something special. With this, you can fuse Hua Po. She is a charming persona, combining the looks of a sweet girl with powerful abilities. So this is also a very interesting thing to bring up. Some requests will have certain items that we'll need if we want to fuse certain personas. Keep in mind, we have to be at a certain level as well as getting that certain item if you want to fuse a certain persona. So that's something else you have to keep in mind if you're looking to go fuse some of these personas in this game. So it is worth going after these requests even more if you're planning to fuse certain personas down the line. Now there's a couple more things I want to do before we end off for today. One of those things is actually hang out with Yuko again. I didn't mention this last time, but Yuko is available on Wednesdays and Saturdays. That's the days when Kendo team doesn't have any practice. So if you ever want to hang out with Yuko, keep those days in mind if you ever want to spend time with her, which is what we'll be doing right now. And we're now at Wild Duck Burger, one of the places that student mentioned when we could open the map from before. I'm mentally exhausted. Yeah, what happened? Just something to cheer up will help any much, I might bet. Oh, nothing major. Maybe I exaggerate a bit. That has cheered her up. We made the right choice. Good. But seriously, I've been feeling kind of down lately. Mr. Yokota asked to speak with me. You wonder why I turned in a blank quiz? I think that is cause for concern. He asked me, don't you have any motivation? I answered honestly, not really. Then he got pissed off. He even yelled at me about the length of my skirt? That's a really strange thing to go after. Probably an easy thing too. Who cares about classic literature anyway? Besides, I didn't do anything wrong. Right, Makoto-kun? Yeah, I agree. I mean, yeah, turning in the blank quiz, that is cause for concern though, so I can see where Edogawa's coming, not Edogawa, Ekoda's coming from, but him going off like that doesn't seem like the right response to handle things. Who cares about stories by a bunch of dead guys? Well, probably people who want to learn or teach history, I bet. Maybe I should be a science major, then I wouldn't have to take classic literature. Wait, then I have to take physics. So, regardless, you're gonna take a really difficult course. I'm gonna write down something on the quizzes from now on. I don't want to reprimand me again. My reputation as an intellectual will be ruined. I guess that is true. That was a joke. You're supposed to play along. I would say you an intellectual, but that would seem kind of harsh. I didn't mean to trick you. Is my nose getting longer? You're so gullible. You shouldn't believe everything people say. Mr. Yokota asked me to write a 3-page essay. My god, that would kill me. I could barely handle a 1-page essay. He wants you to write 3? That's just really harsh. Mr. Yokota does not fool around when you do cross him. That's all I'm learning from this. Can't wait to celebrate graduation? Well, that is a bit of a ways off. But I think it is nice that you have a long-term goal you're setting, but don't look too far ahead to the future. Because if you do, you might lose focus on what's going on now. And with this conversation, we have leveled up the Yuko Social League to level 2. Also, I should probably address the elephant in the room, but that statue off the background has been blinking like crazy. Since I'm playing the PSN version, some of the surfaces in this game, for whatever reason, has this strobe-like effect to them. I'm not sure why this is the case, but this won't be the last time we'll be encountering such a thing, so I apologize in advance if that does really bother you, and I think I should put a warning up for future references if you're prone to seizures. 3-day weekend start tomorrow. I asked some peeps they wanted to hang out, but the only ones interested were guys. Man, I don't want no sausage fest. I don't mean to interrupt, but need I remind you that midterms are quickly approaching? You had best use your time wisely. You had to remind me. Oh, midterms are coming up fast, that's something we'll have to focus on as well. So we're gonna end things off for today after I get this pine resin from Yukari. So next time on Persona 3 FES, I think it's high time that we go back into Tartarus. Even though it has been like a week, I guess that's more than enough time for me to recover and going back into the Thumble Block. Besides, there's really not much left for us to do in the Thumble Block actually. We only have at least one more boss to take care of as a matter of fact, so not much more there is to go after. until we reach that barrier Mitsuru mentioned in one of our earlier expeditions going into Tartarus. Oh, Makoto, don't go spinning around, man. I actually need you to be focused for next time. So, like I said, next time, we're heading into Tartarus. Until we meet again, farewell for now.